Quebec is the cradle of many leading-edge businesses. One of the most striking examples is the impressive rise of the information technology sector. More recently, we have witnessed the spectacular emergence of new high-tech sectors such as special effects, online commerce, and financial technologies. Quebec is changing and the business environment evolving. Competitive setup and operating costs, as well as access to a highly skilled labor force, now make Quebec one of the best places to start and grow a business in the new economy. The face of Quebec is also changing. A growing segment of the population comes from diverse cultural horizons whose rich and varied traditions weave a dynamic social fabric. This is the modern Quebec, where creativity is bubbling over in every walk of life, from education to research, from design to manufacturing, from the arts to fine dining, all of which makes Quebec a great place to live. As Quebec moves forward, funding for innovative businesses is more accessible than ever. Investissement Québec is a part of this movement, and our new financial tools now support bold, visionary entrepreneurs looking to start and develop their projects in an environment conducive to growing world-class businesses.
Hello everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sylvie Pinsonneau, Vice President, Venture Capital at Investissement Québec, also known as IQ. As we know, we have lost too many Quebec-based companies in the past. We are changing this aggressively and providing better support to our entrepreneurs so we can build more worldwide leaders here in Quebec. This is why IQ implemented the plan to fuel the growth of companies that have the potential of being such world leaders. IQ has recently made significant venture capital investments in companies such as Lightspeed and Coveo, who are already leaders in their field. They have decided to set their headquarters in Quebec, therefore creating value right here with the IP and decision making. What better way to show you that our strategy works than sharing thoughts with the CEOs of some of the hottest technology companies in Quebec, Lightspeed and Coveo, that are with us today. First, Louis Tétu. Louis is one of the rare tech entrepreneurs in Quebec who has succeeded in creating exponential value in multiple companies on an international scale. Under his leadership, Coveo is now recognized by both analyst firms, Gartner and Forrester, as being the most visionary and fastest growing in its industry. Moving on to Dax. Having created Lightspeed in 2005, Dax is a leader with impressive results. More than $12 billion of transaction processed annually, more than 36,000 clients in 100 countries, 8 offices over the world, and close to 500 employees. Great to see you both today. Louis, can you tell us why you chose in Quebec to build Coveo?
Oh, why we chose Quebec? Well, the simple answer is we live here, we like it here, and we can. But obviously, there's a business answer which has far more nuances. I think when you look at the Quebec culture, and I wish more people realize that here, because when foreigners and our clients, et cetera, travel to Quebec, they find people that are extremely creative, that have a culture that is extremely adaptive to global markets, to the world, and people that are very, very resilient. And kind of an entrepreneurial culture. And so we've always been able to leverage that to our advantage, combined with the fact that there is a great education system, a lot of diversity, and obviously a great cost and environment. This creates a very unique set of conditions for technology companies to foster. And so cost is not the real driver here. I think talent, innovation, and entrepreneurship and resilience really is. And for us, it's been a winning combination for 20 years.
Dax, you came from Vancouver to Montreal to build Lightspeed. Why did you choose Montreal in Quebec?
So Montreal's and Quebec, a great place to build a technology company. You've got fantastic talent coming out of the universities and a workforce that's highly skilled, and you have a culture here that can do business with the U.S., with Europe. We're very comfortable in multiple languages, and then there's also this great design. This is a city of design. And we bring a lot of those qualities into our software. We like to say here that design simplifies the complex. And when we're building software for retailers, restaurateurs, and e-commerce merchants, these businesses have complexity, and you can solve those problems with design. And so, these are the kinds of elements that you find here in Quebec and in Montreal that help you build, a technology company that's differentiated.
Louis, we live in a world where all we hear about is velocity, and we know that competition is all over the place, constantly emerging. So how do you plan on staying ahead of the pack?
Well, staying ahead is first and foremost a strategy and a culture. So you need to manage and foster a culture of embracing change and literally betting on the future at all times. But beyond that high-level strategy, where you really engage every employee of the company, there's a fundamental set of metrics and a mathematical equation, and it boils back to differentiation. Differentiation means in technology that you need to be the best in the world at something. And so I always refer to illustrate that to the fact that nobody wants a cheap pacemaker. Everyone wants the best pacemaker if you have a heart problem. And technology is the same. Companies and buyers go out and buy the best. And so if you're the best in the world at something, it translates into some fundamental metrics. One of them is price power, and the other one is obviously the yield of your sales and marketing operation. You close more deals that you engage in. And the combination of those two is very, very potent and tends to drop to the bottom line, because in technology you're dealing with very high gross margins. So beyond the threshold where you cover your costs, everything else drops to the bottom line and gives you kind of this unfair advantage. You're in a zone where you can really constantly reinvest and gain even more competitive advantage. We call that a winner-take-all economy, which is really what technology is. So it's a great zone to be in. We need to stay paranoid, obviously. We can be just as easily disrupted as we disrupt others. But again, when you have a sustainable and profound competitive advantage, and you have a culture where your people want to embrace the future and stay ahead, you manage that process on an ongoing basis, and it tends to work.
Dax, what about you? Do you also have a strategy to maintain your leadership position?
So we've, at Lightspeed, I would say we've reinvented the company almost 4 times. We've really mapped the evolution that retail's been through in the last 11 years of our existence, but you've been seeing this adaptation that the independent retailers have had to make, this transformation that's been happening in their area, where the digital world is influencing their need to be as great online as they are in store. They have to be great on social. They have to be better and better at ordering, having the right product for the right customer at the right moment. And so that has forced us to build systems and tools to help them keep competitive with the Amazons, with the big box retailers. And it's these independent businesses that have the ability, with the right systems and tools, to really stand out. And so we've brought mobile payments, we've brought the cloud, we've brought omni-channel, and all of the different evolutions of the company, democratize these tools for the individual independent retailer and restaurateur and now e-commerce merchant. And that's allowed our company to grow, and it's allowed us to watch the businesses that we help, the 36,000 today, businesses that we help thrive and become their own chains and become, the future, leading retailers and restaurants.
And what would be the biggest challenge you face for maximum growth?
So I think there's, businesses don't have their own IT teams. They don't have their own. They're not technologists. They're passionate about creating a business, and so we have to have a certain amount of high touch, with these customers. So we have teams that help them onboard, that help them understand the solutions. So finding a way to scale that, while we scale the technology side, the cloud-based technology, that all works hand in hand. Finding the right balance of trying to grow and scale this, worldwide. New geographies are a challenge. There's lots of different cultural differences, and of course recruiting good talent the specialists needed to meet the demands of Lightspeed at every stage of our development, because as you grow you need different specialized types of people.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Louis? For Coveo, is it the same thing?
A company like Coveo in Quebec City is growing sales at about 200% right now. It's not constrained by money. It's not constrained by the market opportunity. We have recognition by the top analysts in the US and Europe that we're the number one in this space. It is constrained by talent. It is not constrained by the economics of a bad business model either. The more customers buy our technology, the more they gain, the more they buy. So fundamentally, it boils down to talent, getting enough talent in the door that understands technology, that understands global markets, and can really bring a lot of value to the company. And this challenge here in Quebec is further compounded by the fact that right now, every company in every sector, not only the Lightspeeds and the Coveo, but every company in every sector, every manufacturer, et cetera, needs technology people, needs people who understand technology, because they too need to take the digital curve. And so we need to continue to build that capability here in the province. I know that's what you guys are doing, and thank you for that, because this is an attractive place to work, and this is, we're building great companies. We just need more of that talent. And cost is a consideration, but we shouldn't lead with that. I think, as we said, we have unique abilities here, a unique culture, and a lot of creative talent that can drive innovation and growth.
Thank you, guys. Great segue into our reshoring project, as IQ recently launched a program to bring back home Quebecers who left 10, 15, or even 25 years ago, as we're convinced there's never been a better time to do so. Family and friends, the exchange rate, availability of financing, but most important, a work environment as stimulating as anything you can see elsewhere in the world. Both companies here are looking for 100 plus of such talented people like you.
Talent, creativity, and technological innovation all come together in Quebec. The inspiring entrepreneurs who've developed Lightspeed and Coveo provide tangible proof of this, having decided to build their businesses on solid foundations right here. According to Forbes and Bloomberg, Canada is the best country in the G20 for doing business, and 40% of all Canadian companies actively conducting research and development are located in Quebec. Countless other local businesses in leading-edge sectors have also chosen Quebec as their base for growth. Welcome to a progressive Quebec, one whose dynamic companies offer a stimulating environment with all the challenges you're eager to take on. Investissement Québec is ready to work side by side with you right now. Let's talk soon about bringing you home to Quebec to join a world-class company.